Hi guys, it's me Adrian. Just here, just to make a quick little video. Now, no doubt, a lot of you have heard about this new Analogue Mega SG that's coming out next year in April. I just got a few concerns about it. I mean, it sounds great, for what they're advertising here. It sounds great. Like, you can play Master System games, SG 1000 games, Game Gear games, all on an FPGA simulation hardware. So it sounds really good, but like, I've been watching all these other videos about it. Like if I go here, I've been watching all these videos, but no one's really talking about what I really want to know. Like, for instance, here, if I scroll down, it tells you about the high definition graphics. It's got HDMI with 1080p, which is great. It's going to have a port for the SEGA-CD attachment, Mega-CD attachment. So it sounds good. You can even buy wireless controllers for it. It's going to have two, ports for your original controllers. It's got a headphone jack on the front, just like the original. So they've even put on their webpage, they're showing off a few games with the hardware. But what I want to know is it going to perform in 50 Hertz or 60 Hertz, or is it going to give you the option to toggle between 50 Hertz and 60 Hertz? That's what I really want to know. I know there's no power NTSC anymore, because that's an analog thing. That's an analog standard. We just have digital HDMI now, which is cool. I don't have a problem with HDMI at 1080p, but I want to know if there's a way to play the Analogue Mega SG in 50 Hertz, or do you not get a choice? Do you just have to play it in 60 Hertz? That's what I want to know. Like, you can all pre-order it with a variety of different colors, which is good. You got Genesis, Japanese Mega Drive, European Mega Drive, and white. It's really good. So I'm not knocking this product, but by any means, I'm just got a few concerns. But I'm asking a few questions, but no one's really answering them yet. Compatibility, it says Genesis cartridges, Mega Drive cartridges, Sega Master System cartridges with included analog cartridge adapter. They will all play Mark III, Game Gear, Sega My Card, blah blah blah. It all plays with the use of adapters, and it's even saying SEGA-CD and Mega-CD, but requires original attachment. Now it says here region free, and so that's quite interesting. But what does that mean? Like, if the units, I'm assuming it's going to be in 60 Hertz without an option to play the machine in 50 Hertz. So if it's saying region free, does that mean what? If you play a PAL cartridge that's normally got region locking in it, you play it in 60 Hertz, it's going to be twice as fast, I'm assuming. So that's no good. Here, worldwide compatibility, I'm assuming that's about the power supply, 100, 240V, 50, 60 Hertz. That would be that. Video, HDMI, 1080p, 720p, 480p. That's good. NTC and PAL support. But what exactly does that mean? Is it, like I said, does that mean it's going to play? It will play PAL European cartridges, but it's going to play them at 60 Hertz. So, if you play Shinobi 3, the music's going to be twice as fast. It's going to be at 70 Hertz. That's no good. Or does it actually mean you can toggle between NTC and PAL, like 50 Hertz, 60 Hertz? That's what I'm hoping. audio sounds good. You know, I've got no beef with the audio. Digital audio via HDMI and headphone jack, 3.5mm. That's great. I mean, there's no issue there. It's just I just want to know if I can play it in 50 hertz. If I just say if I was to pre-order one and I get one next April, one of these Analogue Mega SG consoles, you know, because my concerns is, number one, not all Master System and Mega Drive games are compatible in 60 hertz. You're going to come across some Master System games that they'll play glitchy, or they won't boot at all. I'm thinking Back to the Future 3 and the Addams Family. They spring to mind. They won't even boot in 60 hertz. So, and then, you know, like I said, with the Power Mega Drive European cartridges, you know, the ones that were region locked, like Capcom and Konami and a whole lot of those, how are they going to play? You know, is it just going to be, you know, if they were optimized, the audio was optimized for 50 hertz, that means it'll play twice as fast. You're probably thinking, well, it's not a big issue, but, you know, if you've got a big Power European library of cartridges, it is a big issue. And the third thing that springs to mind is it's saying that this is compatible, you know, it's going to support Mega-CD, SEGA-CD with you know, a slot to put the attachment in. But the original hardware won't let you cross between 50 hertz and 60 hertz. If you've got a 60 hertz Genesis and a 50 hertz Mega-CD, it ain't going to work. You know, I don't know how they're going to get around that. As you're going to get a message that's going to say, you know, a 50 hertz Mega-CD detected, you know, and the Genesis won't boot, or vice versa. You know, you've got to have, if you have a Genesis, you've got to have a SEGA-CD. If you have a European Power Mega Drive, you've got to have a Power Mega-CD. You know, no one's talking about these things. So I'm just curious. You know, I want somebody to answer these questions for me. Not that I need to pre-order or buy one of these things, because I own an original Mega Drive with a Mega-CD, and I have a Mega EverDrive cartridge, a flash card, so this is really redundant to me, but still, you know, I want to know, because maybe one day it'd be good to get one. I mean, what I really like about it is it can play SG-1000 games and all Sega card games, and it has Game Gear support on the big screen. That's something I've always liked. But you know, and the other thing that caught my eye is this. See how it's flashing with all the cartridges? Like, if you notice carefully, it's only displaying the Genesis cartridges, and then it flicks to Japanese Mega Drive cartridges, and they were 60 hertz, and then it shows you the Master System cartridges. But wait, there's no Power Mega Drive cartridges being displayed. So I'm thinking they might be boycotting. They might be boycotting Power Mega Drive European cartridges. They might be excluded from this thing. So, you know, if that's the case, it's not good for me. You know, and in hindsight, you'd have to have a 50, 60 hertz toggle switch of some sort, or something in the settings. You know, like that lets you change between 50 hertz and 60 hertz, because if you want to adjust the speed properly, sometimes you're going to have to put it back to 50 hertz, and you know, that means you may have borders. I'm not sure, but so I'm just curious, you know, because I want to know this, because if it doesn't support 50 hertz, it's useless to me, because, you know, I got nothing against 60 hertz, but I'm too old now. I'm too old to change, and it's no good giving me the intended speed lecture over and over again, because when it comes to nostalgia, you know, the intended speed lecture just doesn't wash. Okay, the fact is, when these games first done the rounds the first time, they were 50 hertz. Whether that was how they were meant to be or not, that's how it was, and that's how I'm used to it, and that's how I want to continue playing them. I'm not interested in 60 hertz, but I do believe I believe in the option. You know, there should, whether you like 60 hertz or you like 50 hertz or power NTSC, whatever. This machine, I get what they're doing. They're trying to bring the Mega Drive Genesis into the 21st century. You know, they're trying to do it the proper way, through simulation hardware rather than software emulation, and that's good. You know, because that game sucks. But they have to understand this is a console from a bygone era where we had the analog standards, you know, power and NTSC, and they should try and replicate that. I believe in the option, like I was saying. It shouldn't just be 60 hertz. It should have 50 hertz and 60 hertz. There should be a way to choose how you want to play the games. It's no good just being 50 hertz, and it's no good just being 60 hertz. You need the option. That's what I'm saying. But what I really want to know is there a way this unit, is there a way this can be played in 50 hertz? Because if it's not, you're gonna. I'm telling you now, you're gonna come across issues with certain games. There was a big handful of Master System games that only came out in power regions in the early 90s and mid 90s, and a lot of them play glitchy in 60 hertz. So if you really want to play them properly, if you believe in playing them properly, well, you're going to have to toggle the switch back to 50 hertz. That's even if this thing supports it. I don't know. So yeah, that's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'm going to end the video here. What's the other strange thing about this is, if I go to the buy now, it brings me here, so you get to choose between what colour you want for your model. But the funny thing is, if I go to pre-order, I get this error message, so I don't know what's going on. Not that I'm going to pre-order anytime soon, or not that I have to at all really, but what's with this error message? Is this my laptop doing this, or is this because the site was down recently? I don't know. But that's what I keep getting when I click pre-order. So that's all I wanted to say. Have a good think about this. These are the issues that we should be talking about. You know, they're just telling us what it's compatible with, what it can do, but they're not really saying much in the ways of, well, how is the actual old games going to play, you know? Is it going to be power? Is NTC, is that still a thing now? To me, power NTC is redundant now. I get that because we have HDMI, but 50 hertz and 60 hertz still exists, and I want to know if it's going to offer you the choice. If it's not, well, it's hopeless to me. It's useless. I'm not a 60 hertz gamer, and I never will be. So that's something that they need to think about. Maybe there'll be more announcements in future. We'll find out more information about this thing. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. Can somebody please answer this? If you know, or if you think you know, drop me a comment. What's going on? I want to know if you can play these in 50 hertz. Or you can't. That's all I want to know. Alright guys, I'll stop it here. Catch you later. Bye now.